We're going to look at appending queries and merging queries. Now, these are two slightly more advanced Power Query topics, but we're still able to use the GUI, so it doesn't need to feel like such an intimidating step. And truthfully, these are two hugely used data transformations that we will use in Power Query, but they also directly can contribute to the efficiency of our data model. So let's have a look at what I mean by append queries and merge queries, because quite a lot of people get confused about the difference between the two. So append queries, naturally we start with a table, and then what we're actually doing here, if I just take the explanation forward, is we're joining on. This red table represents a second table. So we're joining them on to each other, but it may seem quite complex because we're joining on two tables vertically, which means that they need to share the exact same structure. Now, if you've ever worked with SQL, or you're going to work with SQL, most likely, the equivalent is union all. That's what we would use in SQL to join two tables vertically. And a common use case for this, really, we don't always get data that's sort of modeled very well, so we may pick it up from an Excel file. Potentially there's two extended tables. So maybe in table 1, there is employee 1, 2, 3. They have the employee name and the employee department. But then we might need to append on employee 4, 5, 6, which is on a different sheet, but it shares exactly the same information or type of information and column structure. And we will look at an example. We're going to look at examples of both of these within the Power Query editor. Now, merge queries, it differs because what we're actually doing is joining tables horizontally. So now there isn't the requirement to have the exact same column structure. This is the equivalent to joins in SQL. Where the requirement actually lies is that we require a horizontal join on tables with a matching ID or key. So we've seen this before in data modeling. If I wanted to extract perhaps from another table, I had to join some customer data to retrieve more values, then I would likely be joining it on the customer ID key. If that's present in both tables, we can perform an inner join and we can get the information that we require. So none of this is new, but Power BI have sort of introduced some of their own phrasing, so it throws people off